Hi everyone! Today I'm going to show how to use a cross hotbar on mouse and keyboard. Specifically, this will be made using an MMO mouse with 12 buttons. First, make sure you have the crossbar enabled by going to Character Config, Hotbar Settings, and Cross. Then, we're going to head over to Keybinds, and go to the Gamepad section. I'm going to move this over here, and I'm actually going to move the crossbar itself, where it's a bit more visible, over here, and make it a little bit bigger. See. That should be enough, right? So here's a little diagram of how it's going to be configured. We're going to put the MMO mouse buttons on the D-pad and the face buttons. This one goes up here. This goes up here, there, and this. And then I'm going to do the D-pad. You might see slightly different things. I have my MMO mouse set to go to the numpad, including multiply and subtract. You, however, may have something else in there. Apply. We don't really need to do start and select, as those you can just click if you need to start, and for select, which would be for the HUD elements, you just click on your HUD element. So it's not necessary to do that. I want to skip this section, which are the activators and targeting for the time being, and go to L3 and R3, which would be your clicks. I'm going to put them on 6 and 12. You could change things up a little bit, you don't have to use my exact layout. Which is fine. Now, please note that when I go and do these, I will be assuming a default controller setup. If you have yours changed so that you aren't using the triggers for your modifiers and the bumpers for your targeting and hotbar switching, you might have yours a little bit different. I will, however, be using a default setup. Now, L2, which is the left modifier, I'm going to put R. For R2, which is the right modifier, put space. And for R1, which is the hotbar switching, I'm going to put T. This will differ based on your hand size. As a person who still shops for gloves in the kids section, I can reach A, R, space, T comfortably while still using W for movement, so those would be my best candidates. That does not necessarily mean it would be the best candidates for you. It does say that keys must be assigned to confirm, cancel, escape, and the main menu. So you need to make sure those are assigned at some point. Cancel is taken up. Escape and the main menu. Target main menu. I'm assigning it to this one here. And that should allow me to now use my cross hotbar while being on a mouse and keyboard. Make sure you test them, that you set them up correctly, as it can be a little tricky. Since if you notice, over here in the gamepad, for the D-pad it goes up, down, left, right, but for here on the face buttons, it actually goes up, right, down, left. So you might have them a little incorrect. But in my case, I actually set up correctly for once. It's not too bad. I could also rebind jump since I took it away from the spacebar to another key or one of the mouse buttons that I'm not using, but it's not necessary as it's already covered by one of the current buttons. This means that my keyboard hand will be used exclusively for movement and modifiers, while my mouse hand would be used for the action buttons. Now, you may be wondering, why? Why would someone do this? What on earth could possibly be the benefit of any of this? Well, the first reason is that it's hilarious. Imagine if you're streaming your gameplay or making a video and people assume you're on controller because they see the crossbars, and then you blow their minds that actually you're using mouse and keyboard and crossbar just because you can. I mean, come on, it's the internet. Don't you want to do that? The other, far more practical, less jokery reason would be for controller players whose controllers died or are acting faulty. If they have the equipment and will to do such a setup, until a replacement controller arrives, it can be an easier switch than using regular hotbars. Switching to a more authentic mouse and keyboard setup would mean both learning new muscle memory as well as new hotbar and action placements. Eye memory remains intact and only new muscle memory has to be learned when you're using this, making it a little bit easier if you did have to do some emergency mouse clicking at any point. And that's my guide on how you can use a controller hotbar on a mouse and keyboard. If you enjoyed this video, or you didn't, leave a comment, let me know. And y'all see more controller Final Fantasy XIV coming very soon.